It is the Al Travis Show, but we're lucky to get him once a week on here with us. He is Todd Bergeth, and he is, of course, the man from Todd and Friends, Todd and Souhan, and now Todd and Al. Can I steal that? Hi, Todd. Thanks for being here.
That's right. I think it would be Al and Todd, though.
Well, alphabetically.
Okay, yeah, there we go. And you're the one with the statewide show. I appreciate you having me on.
No, I love absolutely having you here. I want to talk in-depth, maybe not too in-depth, because there's so many games. I told you last week that as soon as my Vikings are out, I kind of fade out until the Super Bowl. I get the headlines. Yeah. I said that. And I felt bad saying it, but it is who I am, so I got to be honest. Sure. But with all that was going on politically and stuff, it was a very busy week last week, and I just faced it on my Facebook. I said, I'm going to the garage, having a cigar, watching football. I'm just going to decompress. Mm-hmm. They were 6 of the best wild card weekend games I've seen in a long time. I was enthralled with all of them. I didn't have any winners or losers in there. The quality of that wild card weekend, your thoughts?
Fantastic. They put up the statistic about 12 lead changes in the last 5 minutes or something like that, and it was the most in NFL history for a playoffs, let alone for one round of the playoffs. So, terrific games. Kind of a dud last night with the Steelers laying an egg and Aaron Rodgers looking old and the Texans looking like a ferocious defense led by our very own Danielle Hunter, who still looks like he's in his prime yet, and sacking the quarterback. But outside of that, I don't know. Probably my favorite game was the Bears and Packers because I hate both of them, and yet it was a highly entertaining game. And the Vikings are our quarterback situation is a distant ways from those two teams' quarterback situations. I'd rather have us than Jared Goff in Detroit. Honestly, I mean I know he has some prime left, but he has a ceiling, and that ceiling is not the Super Bowl. So, but the two guys that we saw in that game, although Jordan Love kind of came up a little short right at the end, he wasn't able to make the big throw. But that throw that Caleb Williams made on 4th down and 8 in the fourth quarter with like 5 minutes to play, where he's running left and throws it down the sideline just right on the money to a guy who was nowhere near the pass when he let it go. That's a special throw. That's a throw that maybe there's him in that category that could make that. I don't see the hip swivel on Josh Allen like that to be able to make that throw. Maybe Mahomes, but I don't think Mahomes has the arm strength that Caleb Williams has. I think in terms of just physical arm talent and leg talent, Caleb Williams might be at the top of the NFL.
And we're going to be battling him for some time. It's not good. Minnesota has to figure out a quarterback thing. The problem with Green Bay and the Bears, I voted for the Bears only because Green Bay is my number 1 arch enemy and they're number 2, right? I mean, so it was I didn't care, but the humiliating defeat for Green Bay. You happy you didn't wake up in anywhere in Wisconsin the next day? They had been livid, 25 points in the fourth.
And I have Packer fans that are friends of mine. One does radio in Devils Lake, North Dakota, and has for many years, and they can be insufferable. Yeah. So I don't have any empathy for them at all. Look, nobody has suffered the way Vikings fans have suffered when they're our vintage, in particular, Al, when our hearts were broken multiple times when we were just boys going out to play a football game in the yard immediately after watching another Vikings Super Bowl loss.
That is so funny.
I have no empathy. If they could have twisted the knife a little more, I would have been fine with that. And I was actually kind of pulling for the Bears because they don't win. You know, they haven't had a good quarterback almost in their entire history outside of Jim McMahon, but he was so beat up all the time and so forth. So I was pulling for the Bears because I really detest the Packers. But what makes it even worse is that the Packers, we're not their worst enemy. It's the Bears. They have less hate for us than they do for the Bears, and that kind of irritates me even more. So
I kind of comes out. I love that. I love this about you. I am more in love with you now than I ever have been. I'm loving this.
I wish Ben Johnson would have punched Matt LaFleur in the nose, and let's take this to another level. So I loved it.
All right, the other game which I really, really enjoyed is the 49ers upsetting the Eagles. First, Eagles fans are the worst fans of all time, and it forever. Yes. I have a friend who's a 49er fan, and I thought Hendricks getting the players. I mean, there's no one left on the 49ers. I mean, they're just decimated. But Hendricks had a great game, and in my opinion, really upset the Eagles. I enjoyed that game.
Upset indeed. I agree. I don't know what's going on in Philadelphia with them offensively. I mean, they just shut it down. Now they did lose another offensive coordinator, Shane Steichen, who did wonders with the Colts this year and took a 45-year-old and made him his quarterback for 3 weeks. He was their offensive coordinator when they won the Super Bowl, and he's gone. Or no, I think he left actually the year before that. And so they're missing something there. But LaShawn McCoy is a longtime Eagles running back. He's in their Ring of Fame, and he does a podcast, of course. Who doesn't? Yeah. And he claims to have inside information with players and staff and whoever. He was really making it sound like he had the inside story. And he said the reason the Eagles run an elementary offense is because Jalen Hurts can't pick up on a more complicated one.
Wow.
That he's not able to operate a more complicated offense.
Wow.
And that's why they have the somewhat rudimentary passing game, and that's why they kind of run very similar formations and plays each week. So take that for what it's worth. That's LaShawn McCoy, who is a longtime Eagles player. So
the other game here on our side of the fence, the NFC, were the Panthers completely underrated in that they're upside down. They're the only team in with a losing record. They come in as fourth because of the division. The Rams were on a roll, and the Rams, by the skin of their teeth, beat the Panthers. They were a 10.5-point favorite. I don't think I've seen that in the playoffs.
Yeah, turnovers play such a big role, and Matthew Stafford, who appeared to be the runaway MVP choice a few weeks ago, stumbled a bit here in recent weeks, including in that playoff game when he turned the football over and wasn't as accurate on some other throws. He missed open guys, and yet they put 34 points on the board. So I don't want to get too carried away here, but it was one of those games where your quarterback kept both teams in it. Yeah. That's kind of what happened with Matthew Stafford, I thought, a bit in that one. The Rams, I heard him say they kind of feel like maybe Jared Verse has plateaued, so that would be good because that draft pick by the Vikings wasn't looking very good as they had the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year last year. Yeah. But he only had, I think, 7 sacks this year, so I was happy to see that. But the Rams are who I took to come out of the NFC, so I'm going to stick with that at this point. I think especially against the Seahawks. We'll see. That's a tough matchup, no doubt. Well, I know I kind of poison the waters a bit.
Let's bust up the AFC side in just a matter of a couple of seconds here, and then we'll take your picks for next weekend. I will mention I was 6-0 in the wild card round, picking all of them. And I always say that because it's never happened in my life before, so I bring it up. We'll be back after this with more. We've got them. Todd Bergeth, Todd and Friends, Todd and Souhan. More right after this. We've got him, Todd Bergeth, talking all things sports with us, and I appreciate it. Let's talk the games on the other side, sir. Patriots-Chargers, probably the least entertaining game of all of them. Maybe I can say that. There wasn't a lot there from anybody. 16-3, Patriots move on. I picked them from the beginning.
Yeah, so now we have the conversation about Justin Herbert, right?
Yep.
So he's terrific in the regular season, and he's now 0 for 3 with 3 really poor performances in the playoffs. Now, he had no time to throw the football. The Chargers' offensive line was decimated by injury. We know that Jim Harbaugh knows how to coach an offensive line and get it to play with some physicality and ability to run the ball and protect the passer. Their offensive line has been in shambles. That's why he's wearing a cast on his left arm and trying to play with that. At the same time, there were opportunities for him to make plays, and they didn't happen. Now, maybe he's a little bit shell-shocked from the beatings he's taken, so when a play presents itself, he either didn't see it or he missed guys. I was watching. Well, I wasn't watching. I was watching other guys pointing out that at all 22. There were plays to be made in the game against the Patriots, and he didn't make those. So, the conversation is a fair one. Is he a regular season-only quarterback at this point? So far, he is.
You get looked at that. I thought the Bills and Jaguars, another fun game, watched every moment of that. I had picked the Bills, the upset, if you will, over the Jaguars as a 6 over 3 because I thought it was the better quarterback, and I think I was proven right.
Yeah, Josh Allen's amazing, and I took the Bills to make the Super Bowl out of the AFC, and yeah, he's so much fun to watch. A friend of mine just is a huge fan. He calls him "Oh my Josh" when he ever talks about him, And, he's so huge. Now, I didn't know, now aiding the runner has really become a thing with the tush push, and the Bills now are probably the best team at it, even ahead of the Eagles at this point because of their quarterback. And I don't know about offensive linemen actually picking up the quarterback and carrying him toward the goal line. That seems to be going a little far when they got that at the end, that 10 yards.
Yeah.
But the Jags quit on the play. They quit because they thought that they had his forward progress stopped. We have to play till the whistle, and nobody blew a whistle. We didn't hear anything, any talk. We didn't hear it called on there. So the Jags quit on that, on the biggest defensive possession of the game. They gave up 10 yards on a quarterback sneak is what it is. But yeah, he's so much fun to watch. Trevor Lawrence, up and down, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks, but it appears as though they're starting to get the best out of him. Yeah. He just has to get the right coach in there.
He's a good quarterback. I just thought the other was better. And then the last one for the weekend, the Steelers and the Texans, quite honestly, I got halfway through. I was bored with myself, and I turned it off. Yeah. I didn't see the Texans scoring 24 points in the fourth. They blow out the Steelers. But the good news is the ex-Packer, Aaron Rodgers is out. Sorry, thank you.
And that could be his last game in the NFL. He could head off right now. Yep. Maybe not necessarily because of his own decision making, because we know he's going to take plenty of time. He's got some darkness retreats to go to. Yeah. He's got some trees in the jungle that he wants to hug for a while, and maybe eat some bananas while he's hanging out with the local orangutans. But so he'll take his time, and then there won't be jobs left. Like last year, the only job that was really left for him was the Steelers, and they did come to an agreement. So if he waits, he may wind up without a job, even though he still wants one. Right. I think he still wants to play.
I think he's still a decent quarterback. I think he's in the top half. I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback, but he's definitely in the top half, so I think there's room for him if he could stop being a crazy man. But anyway, let's move on. Then, go ahead.
Yeah. Good. No, I'm good.
All right, let's go to the round this weekend then, because I really do see some fun games. Broncos #1 against your Bills. You've already told me you've got the Bills going the whole way, so you're thinking they're going to take the Broncos.
I do. I think that Bo Nix will give him an opportunity to make some plays on defense. And I think Josh Allen, he has to be Superman for them to win. The Broncos have a very good defense. This is certainly a tougher matchup than what they've faced in the Jaguars. The defense for the Broncos is young and aggressive and fast, and their front is terrific. And that's where the Bills sometimes have trouble, is along that offensive line. But if they can get James Cook going just a little bit, and their defense can make plays, like Tre'Davious White missed quite a bit of the season, and then he makes the key play defensively for them when he had the deflection and then the pick to seal the game for the Bills yesterday or on Sunday. So the Broncos D is tough. This is the one I'm most concerned about. Whoever they get, the Patriots and Texans, if they get past the Broncos, I like them against them more than I do against the Broncos. This is the one that I think is going to be really difficult.
I got 3 more games in 3 more minutes. You know what that means. You're a good radio guy. Patriots and Texans. Patriots or the Texans. I got to go. I don't know where I'm going to go. I thought the Texans showed their defense. I think they take the Patriots. I do.
I'm going to take the Patriots in that one. Right. I like the young QB. I think he's going to make enough plays. He might be the MVP this year.
Wow, okay, got to like that. The Bears and the Rams, the Bears and the Packers was a comeback. I don't think they can keep doing that. I think it's the Rams to lose.
So they have the lead and just don't cough it up, and then they win the game. So you're taking the Rams then?
Yeah, I think that's how that's going to work. The Bears seem to not care to play for about 3.5 quarters, and then they say, "Oh, we're here now."
Yeah, it's strange, and I'll take the Rams too. The veteran QB over the young guy here. I just raved about Caleb Williams, but his processing and his accuracy on short and intermediate range both are a little bit lacking, and that's where Matthew Stafford is A+. Is his processing and his short to intermediate range throws and his downfield throws as well. So give me the Rams. The Bears defense can be had, and we saw the Rams can run the ball.
I love that. And then I would absolutely love it if the 49ers could do something. Josh Purdy tells me that, the last guy picked can still be somebody in football. I love the idea. But now Kittle's out and all the rest. There's no one left on the Niners. I think it's the Seahawks to lose. Yeah,
I can't disagree. I'm not rooting against Sam Darnold. I'm just rooting against the Vikings having just a gigantic egg on their face. If Sam Darnold takes the Seahawks to the Super Bowl, even me, who was 100% behind getting rid of Sam Darnold, because that's what they were telling us. I would even say, you really butchered this. This was a horrible call that you made on who should be the quarterback of the team going forward.
I didn't accept. I'm a Darnold fan. You give me 14 wins any year, I'm a huge fan. The idea he can't win in the playoffs, and maybe he hasn't. How many shots has he had at it? 2. Okay, it's the NFL. If a team's going to go the whole way, I hope it's Darnold, to be quite frank, so that he can say, I was worth the money. That's why I left. It wasn't any other reason. I was worth this. And I hope Red, Ginger Guy does it. I just do.
Yeah, that's good. I'm on the other side.
I know you are, and I can see where you come from.
I know he's a good guy. He's a good guy and all, but
it'll make us look really bad.
I know. I don't want to see him go to the Super Bowl because of that reason. I don't want it to be shown in our faces. And I was right on board. It wasn't just the playoff game last year. He choked in that last regular season game, too. And he wasn't great in this one until the end. He's a 3.5. Wait till the end guy in his last couple games, too.
Well, then let's just split the baby and the bathwater. Let's have him win the first round, and then he can get that off his shoulders and made his money.
I think I'm with you. I think they beat the Niners, like you said, because the Niners are so beat
There's
up.
nothing left of the Niners. Todd, I absolutely appreciate you doing this for me and doing this with every week. Thank you for doing it. How does someone pick up your podcast, either Todd and Friends or Todd and Souhan?
Go to kwlm.com, and it's right on their podcast or anywhere where you get your podcasts.
I appreciate you, my friend. It is the Al Travis Show. Much more coming up right after this. Thank you to Todd and Friends, Todd and Souhan.